No More Room in Hell 2 is a video game, some might say. Completely marred due to its bad release, I think a lot of people, including myself, wrote it off. But those devs have been trucking along, fixing the game, adding new content, and strengthening its foundations. After having played it for the very first time recently and seeing what state the game's in now, there's a lot of potential here. The game's core so far makes me feel like I'm seeing someone crack open a gold vein, although we're not exactly there yet. Simply put, the game is good. There are a hell of a lot of flaws, and we'll be hitting up a majority of them in this video, but can I be real with you for a second? I like flaws. Like, not in the sense that flaws are good, but they tend to make something far more interesting than if they were never there. Flaws are like stress points. In a way, they give a game identity. For some people, they might not even be flaws at all. There's something to talk about, to get angry at, or to love. If everyone thinks it's bad, then there's a way you know to do better. If it's controversial, then it opens up a path for the developer to choose what kind of game they want to make. I like flaws. They're really cool. Either way, No More Room in Hell 2, Numra 2. Zombie game. It's got passion behind its development. There's something awesome being made here. Tiny snippets of heart and soul can be found throughout the game, from mechanics to level design and script writing. A game without passion like this simply wouldn't have a niche voice line for if you complete the mission, but everyone dies.
That was fucking nuts. I don't... Shit. I only joined up for the fucking tax breaks. I'm not qualified. But who do I even resign to now?
No fucking way you get to quit. We're gonna keep you off the front lines for sure, but first we're gonna talk in person. About how you just got a whole team killed.
Now this isn't going to be a review. This is more a critique. I may be a loser on the internet, whom most of you may have even forgotten I exist at all, but I believe I have a fairly good scope on some of the core problems this game faces. In fact, realistically speaking, I only have a few issues. Obviously, the game needs more content, but that's like telling someone turning into a gas station that they're low on gas. I think they know. However, I would be jumping the gun if I were to dive into my critique without giving you a rundown of the game itself. How is No More Room in Hell 2 played? Well, here's the gist. No More Room in Hell 2 is about you being a CRC responder. I don't know what that stands for, but the idea is you drop into a place needing help, fix the problem, and exfil. At its core, this is an extraction game, where every match is a tense round of gathering enough supplies to complete your mission, hold back the horde, and live to see another day. In order to make the game as tense as it wants to be, every responder you bring into the match is their own unique character with their own perks, which augment your play. Every successful exfil levels your character up with more perks, randomly selected between 3 every tier, until you reach the max of 50. The better your responder, the more you don't want to lose them, and the more you don't want to lose them, the worse it will feel when they die. There's, so far, a healthy roster of guns in the game for you to find, many of which are better than others, along with attachments to make them more viable. And you might be asking, what do you mean by more viable? Well, guns, if you don't know, are loud. And No More Room in Hell 2 takes the sound approach to its zombies. The more sound you make, the more zombies end up congregating. Guns are loud and fast. They're an easy solution out of most binds, but only temporarily. The real star of the show for most of your playtime, or at least mine, is the melee combat. Surprisingly robust for how simple it seems, this is how you'll be dealing with zombies more often than most. The melee armory is more diverse than the guns, and it should be, with each weapon carrying their own pros and cons. One-handers are fast and light, while two-handers reach far and hit wide. With the two forms, blunt and sharp, each now carrying their own special qualities, both are equally as valuable in a fight. Obviously, some weapons are better than others, but sometimes it's the weapon you can get your hands on that will keep you alive. The core of a match follows the player alone, starting with only a pipe and a revolver, scavenging for supplies on their way to and at objectives, building up a stockpile of gear to use for larger objectives, as well as coming across other players in the lobby to work together with. No More Room in Hell 2 at its heart is a co-op experience, and another player is usually more invaluable than a gun. Sometimes. Most of the time I feel like a teacher trying to corral kids through a field trip, but many of the maps, along with their objectives, follow a 3-act structure with a beginning, middle, and end. Much of the difficulty and subsequent mastery comes from the levels, knowing where to go and what to do. Follow the structure to its conclusion and you'll reach the finale, where you'll likely have to fight off a horde long enough to complete your mission and earn your extract. None of your gear follows you into the next match, but some currency gained from doing objectives can net you new starting gear if you don't feel like being broke. And that's No More Room in Hell 2. What I've just tried to accomplish is give you, to the best of my ability, a good faith summarization of what it's like to play this game. Again, the core is exceptional, but I believe there to be some flaws in the system which need to be addressed in order for the devs to stick the landing. For those that have played the game, I bet they're thinking, yeah, I do know what needs to be fixed. No way. This shit's buggy. Bruh, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't lose characters in this game. If someone dies, it's because I wanted them to. Or they get gobbled up by the glitch goblin. What do you mean the train won't extract? It won't move? It won't move. It got tired today, I guess. It didn't want to leave the station. I'm aware that bugs and glitches are quite part and parcel for this game. However, I don't want that to be this video. Generally speaking, the game isn't in an unplayable mess. I had a level 50 character complete 31 fucking extracts before the glitch goblin came and said rent's due. With what I talk about later, that will show that that's not exactly a bad thing. Yes, bugs are frustrating. They will ruin your experience far more terribly than anything actually part of the game. But at the end of the day, those can be fixed with hard work, some elbow grease, and programmer socks. So with that being said, let's get to some actual critique. And there's nothing better to start off with than something that will actually make you feel like you're going insane, and that's the zombie spawns. It's abysmal dog shit.
Did you see it? On the left side of the doorframe.
I know it. You know it. The Steam reviewers know it. The devs probably know it. This shit, it's bad. It's bad. I can truly only hope that you only ever see this happen because the system that makes it function fails to register your line of sight or another player's line of sight and thinks it's safe to spawn a zombie. This is why you see it happen. Regardless of that, even if you didn't see it happen, this is a system that destroys any semblance of a fair and balanced game. This is the video game equivalent of looking both ways to cross the street and getting bodied by the 18-wheeler God decided to throw your way. Working as intended. You simply can't trust the game. Every time you deal with an objective, if it reduces your visibility, like wires or valves, you have to hope you're fast enough before a zombie spawns on you. On numerous occasions, I have killed all the close zombies, looked around to see nothing, and after about 5 seconds I hear a groan and get hit by something that had no right to be there. A lot of the spawning issues realistically seem to spawn out of multiple players being in close proximity to each other. I don't know if the game can handle so many players looking in so many different directions. It's where the brunt of spawning issues arise for me. Still, No More Room in Hell 2, while unique in execution, isn't unique in concept. There are a lot of zombie games. There are even a lot of not zombie games. That doesn't make sense yet. I'm gonna make that make sense. Comparison, to me, is a tool wielded carefully. When it comes to the comparison of media, I see it falls far too easily into the trap of judging something for what it never intended it to be. I'm going to be comparing No More Room in Hell 2 to games like Left 4 Dead, Payday 2, and Hunt Showdown for good measure. I'm not attempting to compare these games to show how they are better, but instead to help give examples and inspiration from media that I believe have succeeded at particular designs. For example, both Left 4 Dead and Payday 2 have similar methods of spawning enemies, waves, and the clown car. Waves are fairly self-explanatory. Sometimes enemies spawn, sometimes they don't. Payday 2 straight up tells you when you're in a spawn wave. So does Left 4 Dead, although in a slightly more diegetic way if you ignore the "here they come." The wave is exceptionally useful for providing tension and release. Things get really difficult, then ease off to give you room to breathe, right before ramping back up again. No More Room in Hell 2 does use this tactic, although subtly. Gunshots, security systems, car alarms, they all attract and, practically speaking, spawn in zombies to surround you. Once the noise quiets and the zombies are killed, the pseudo-wave is finished. Breathing room is gained. The problem I have specifically stems from finales. There's no breathing room in finales. Perhaps that's by design. You need to make your own breathing room. And most of the time, that's how it plays out. You need to kill whatever's around you or be protected by someone for long enough to get an objective done. Unfortunately, because of the way spawns work, it still doesn't feel fair, which is where the clown car comes in. Zombies need to spawn in from somewhere. In fact, they do spawn from somewhere. This is a spawn. This is a spawn. This is a spawn. They are used all the time in so many places, but not all the time. Obviously, in order to populate the world, while at the same time making sure everyone's computers don't blow up, you need to have some hot drop zombies. But that can't be happening near players. It just can't. I cannot be turning my back to 0 zombies, only to start getting nibbled on by a zombie. I think we have to go back to the drawing board, remove the line of sight-based spawning for the most part, and rethink how you get zombies into the world. Sometimes I see inventive and unique ways of making a sudden zombie arrival believable. Body bags, quarantine coffins, a dead body waking up, these are all terrifying and believable ways to spawn in zombies. These should stay, they're fun. New ways to get zombies in like that should be created, but otherwise, there should be a stricter adherence to set spawn areas, like these windows in the community center or the rafters in the power plant. Give players some form of anti-spawn protection, a circle around them to stop stuff like this from happening, and I would possibly go even further, giving players a form of protection trail so zombies don't spawn where they've been. Obviously, it would go away after a short time, but it allows players some space if they've cleared a storefront, leave, but decide to go back in for some missed supplies. Zombies work best in this game when they're left alone long enough to turn into a horde. Feeling as though you've aided in your own demise by not holding the zombies back fast enough is what emotion you want players to feel as they're dying. They can't feel as though right as they kill one, another one portals in behind them. It'll definitely take some creativity and work to get the zombies feeling good, but hit the notes just right, and this game will become magnitudes better. But there's another elephant in the room when it comes to the game feeling good. Progression. It's also bad. The short form progression, responders, sucks. There's no medium progression in the slightest, not even a hint of lime, and the long form progression is obfuscated to such a degree that in order to even know what you get at certain account levels, if you can even tell what your account level is, you need to carefully inspect every item and perk in the menus. It's not good progression, nor is it great UI. The UI isn't bad, by the way. What's there is good, but it feels like there are menus missing. Realistically speaking, I need a Battle Pass style account level menu that tells me everything I get at each level because a tiny snippet of information at the top right doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. This shit doesn't get me excited to level up. If I don't like the perk I see, and it's only perks up here, not items, I'm not all that motivated to play the next match. I was more excited reading the requirements for the satchel in the item menu than for anything I've seen up here. And it shouldn't be like that. Players should be getting a more complete picture of what they can look forward to as they progress. I can't learn about new perks by looking through an alphabetized skill pool and seeing random levels on all of them. The user experience here is poor. The skill pool should only show you what is currently available to you. It should not be the way I learn about at what level I get expert perks. So it seems I've attacked long form progression first, and that's fine because I have the least problem with it. All I really want is for the menus to get cleaned up a bit and have an easier understanding of what I'm getting as I level up. Also, I had a friend who still thought he was account level 0 because he didn't know what this number represented, because to be fair, it's hard to tell what your account level is. There's too much information pushed into such a small space up here. The level number needs to be bigger, simply put. If in the future there can be an entire account menu, that would be even better. As for how he didn't know what this number meant, I mean, you can mouse over it. That one might be a skill issue. The other progression issues, though, they're a lot more complex than make number big. I would really like to go down the line and speak on medium form progression. Unfortunately, like I said before, it doesn't exist. Now, so we're all on the same page, medium form progression is a term that I'm using loosely to mean progression systems which have low impact to the actual experience but still allow for players to create goals for themselves. At the moment, this does not exist. There is account level, and there are characters. There needs to be something that exists in the interim, forms of progression that can take the space in between the small and large grinds. For most games, that's a battle pass, to give you an example. And just so I'm clear, I think a battle pass at this stage in the game will make your players hate you. I don't know, man. I don't think that would be the play until like 0.75. But with a clearer image in your head as to what medium form progression is, maybe some ideas are already starting to form. I think looking to other games in a similar genre is always a good thing in understanding what can work well. For example, Hunt Showdown had this journal where the more enemies you killed with specific guns, it would unlock lore as well as extra variation of guns for you to use and peruse. Also, I've seen a few people talk, and I've had the same feelings. It's not easy to tell what the hell's going on in this game. The story and the current state of things is a little hard to parse. Making a journal like this could help tie certain items and perks behind small grinds as well as lore to give players a better view into what the world looks like beyond the missions. Even looking at a game like Tarkov, arguably the first successful extraction shooter, there's a hideout you build up during your time in the wipe, giving yourself easier access to supplies and better maintaining your character. Some form of this could be added to No More Room in Hell 2, a hideout where camp supplies go as an actual form of currency to bolster the CRC outpost. Obviously, there's not exactly a one-to-one solution here. The Tarkov hideout only works because the game wipes every few months, whereas I doubt that would work as a fun mechanic in this game. But it's a start. Even something as simple as creating a profile page which could give you your lifetime stats for your account like zombie kills, revives, total supplies, and objectives completed. These are things players care about and find meaning in. Not all of them, of course, but the systems are already in place tracking this stuff. And in the future, you could tie cosmetics to certain stats like kill 100,000 zombies, successfully level 100 level 50 characters. You give people a finish line, a goal to work towards, even if it's just flames on a shotgun, they'll go for it, man. Medium forms of progression are a more drip-feed way of getting people to make goals for themselves, something that I've been sorely missing as I've played this game, because when you get a character to level 50, 3 characters to level 50, the whole goddamn roster, it starts to feel like nothing fucking matters. There's this problem in No More Room in Hell 2. It's a killer. More people die from this issue than anything else. Literally. When you press escape, look at the group, and see how many are alive and dead, you'll understand. You'll probably be asking yourself, why is the guy with 20 nightmare extractions fucking dead? It's because he shot himself. It's no secret that self-sacrifice grief is fairly rampant in this game. I don't blame him. Ironically enough, a level 50 character is less useful than a level 1. Why? Because the level 1 has potential. There's the possibility for good perks, for an actually cohesive character build. The level 50, that's an old fucking fart. They're only useful for taking up space. Their only purpose is to give you a better chance of getting nightmare missions. I don't think I've gotten more than 2 nightmare missions with level 50 characters. I've gotten them more with level 1s, bro. But most of all, the biggest issue with a level 50 character is that they're boring. They are static, unchanging. You do not experience game progression with a level 50 character. It's why I say I don't blame people shooting themselves. It sucks. The real difficulty of this game is directly correlated with how many people are alive in the lobby, but I get it. I have been tempted by the lead pill. I've even taken it a couple times. Usually, I'm a good Samaritan, only take the dose once extractions arrive because I don't want to fuck the other people in the lobby, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating that this problem even exists. Before we continue discussion of this in any capacity, a retire button needs to be implemented into the game. This one isn't up for debate. I could be wrong on everything in this video. I'm not wrong on this one. In fact, I've never been more confident in my entire life. It has to be added. If it isn't, the game will be rampant with serial suiciders all the way up to release and beyond. It should also be an important question to ask why this is happening, the K-spam. It is a problem. It is also a symptom of a larger problem. I think I can say this with a good level of confidence. If the character progression systems were good, people wouldn't be killing themselves. To put it simply, a max level character in No More Room in Hell 2 is not a max level character in other games, like Hunt Showdown. In that game, a max level character is nearly a level playing field. They are a coveted part of the kit when you enter the match, giving you an advantage against other players. There are no other players to fight in No More Room in Hell 2. A max level simply isn't worth as much due to the lower perceived risk. And practically speaking, the risk is lower. I had a level 50 survive for 31 consecutive extractions before getting killed by rubber banding, but we'll ignore that. But there is another reason why level 50s aren't exactly worth that much.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Respectfully speaking, this is bad. This is horrible, actually. The perk system is horrendous. Maybe the worst thing in the game. It's completely random. All decisions are final, and most perks are only situationally good and otherwise suck dog shit. You want to know the real reason people are killing themselves? This is. You get a randomly created freak with a perk you can only begin to associate with their job title through play, so you don't even know what you're getting 90% of the time, and then after that you get a pittance of 3 completely random perks to choose from with 0 concept of synergy, and that's before you can even think about expert perks, the superior version of every perk. And it's all for gambling. Every single supply, every single level, every single match, it's all for gambling. Why? 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 There was probably a choice early in development when this perk system was being made, either to make it RNG or build-based. On paper, the RNG creates a system where characters with good perks that synergize well with each other become highly valuable, and your investment in them will lead you to care deeply about them. This is probably the best character I've ever rolled. Great perks, 2 experts, both of which are actually good and promote fun gameplay. She's amazing. It will take me an extremely long time to get a character as good as this again.
Well, this is me.
Oh, and I killed her. She's fucking dead. I fucking shot her. I don't care. I don't care. Max level characters in this game are not as valuable as you think they are. The RNG perks only promote total responder death until you get one even remotely usable. And even then, once you're done using them and done having fun, it's easier to shoot them and start over. So if it's between RNG, where half the lobby is dead by the time I start the first objective, versus a perk build system where most characters are carbon copies of each other because of a meta, I'd rather have that. Because at least I could actually have fun with the perks. See, the perks themselves are not bad. I looked through the list, and the game definitely needs some more, but what's already there promotes a great level of flexibility and diversity. Seeing the potential for niche builds like a kicking, shoving build, or a pacifist build, or an infected build, these sound really cool. You can't do this in the game, though. You can get lucky and maybe something sort of resembling a build is given to you, but in a system where RNG is king, you'll likely take what's good and not what will be most fun. If it's the choice between Hitman or Limbo, I'm taking Hitman. There's no promise Limbo will build out into something usable. Hitman is a build-defining perk. I'm not someone who tends to play inside the meta. I like to do the fun stuff, find a build most fun for my playstyle, and create the best of that system. In No More Room in Hell 2, it would be some form of backpack-based loot goblin. I want to see how big my backpack can be. I want every weight-reducing perk. I want every backpack-increasing perk. Unfortunately, unless a miracle comes down from the heavens, I will never see this reality. A completely random system will encourage people towards taking what already works instead of trying out new perks to see what could work. Ironically, you end up in a similar position to a build-based system, but this time no one's happy and players end up frustrated. But I have solutions that I think could be fun, promote short and medium forms of progression, and solve the crisis of early lead poisoning. Now, most of my solutions still exist in some form of RNG format, working within the base the game has set. I would much prefer having a build like in Hunt Showdown. I'd balance it by completely removing expert perks and making those become upgrades you can get for the perks you place on your character with a shit ton of camp supplies. This makes supplies a valuable currency you want even at level 50, because let's be real, there's no reason to grab any once you hit level 50. But, if build is not the way you'd want to go, or you disagree, then here's my RNG-based solutions. Step 1. Let characters level infinitely. Put a cap on experience required for the next level so it's high but not atrocious at level 50, and every time a character progresses 10 levels, give them the ability to reroll a perk. I think on its own, this is a simple, elegant, and complete solution to the current problems the game faces. This makes supplies infinitely valuable for every level of character, it creates higher investment in characters the more is invested into them, and allows for the potential of actual character builds to coalesce. This gives people the ability to even brag about how they have a level 200 or 500 character that's never died. Brother, there's a storm coming. Step 2. You're allowed to choose a perk when you level up. You can quit out of the menu. I'm not expressing a solution, this is in the game now, but as of currently, there's no reason for this. You should make there be a reason. You should be able, if you decide you don't want any of the perks you see, to enter a match, and if you successfully extract, those perks get rerolled. This creates a nice risk and reward. Enter a match with a perk you don't like but still might keep you alive, or enter weaker, but at a higher level, making hard and nightmare missions more common. Imagine a character at level 50, but effectively level 1 because a player is re-rolling every single perk slot all at once every single extraction. Now that's gambling, baby. Also, please for the love of God, let me look at every perk slot I have open, not just the first one. This really does remove my agency and renders most of my choices down to chance as well, since I have no clue what I might get later down the line. Overall, though, this is more of an addendum and not a fix-all solution. This doesn't solve the supplies issue, but does create a fun push and pull with the game where you can choose to be weaker for better potential down the line. And a small change, but step 3. For the love of God, get rid of expert perks from the pool. They are either so powerful you will not choose another perk, or are so useless like their normal counterpart, I will never touch it. Make experts upgrades you can get with supplies. Or maybe you don't even remove them from the pool, but still make them upgrades you can get with supplies. In a game where extraction, well, let's be honest with ourselves, is easy, a character should not feel finished after 5 of them. In some capacity, a character should always feel like a work in progress, something that you are building better with every run, not a complete product you want to get rid of the moment you get bored. All these potential solutions promote fun and risky play for the game, and gives people the ability to make real choices when it comes to how their character turns out, because in some capacity it does feel like you have no choice with your character. Their perks are decided the moment they're made, you just have to work to unlock them, even if they're bad. I'm not saying that's how it is, I'm saying that's how it feels. At the end of the day, you want your players to feel as though they have a choice in what they're playing. With a perk system like this, you are begging people to experiment, find what's fun, unique, good, and bad. But it's currently all just random. There's no agency, there's very little choice. Frankly, players feel boxed in. If that's what you want, go for it, but it's not going to make people happy. But that's about all I have for now. I got out the points I'm most passionate about, and in the interest of this video actually being made and me keeping my sanity in the process, I think I'll leave it there. Oh, but one more thing. Small thing. The Blunt versus Sharp debate seems interesting to me because with the new update, they made fallen zombies take more damage. Ergo, Blunt feels better now. However, I think practically speaking, Sharp still wins. Obviously, they're closer now. Sharp isn't as powerful in comparison anymore, but it's still more powerful. And it actually doesn't have anything to do with the dismemberment, but everything to do with the animation. See, it's a sweep. blunts an overhead. The sweep will always hit more enemies. You can kill more in a single strike. You can handle hordes easier. The blunt has a harder time hitting a lot of enemies. They have to be in a line. The arc will always win. Not to mention that crawler zombies are debatably more valuable than a dead zombie, because they block the path of normal zombies. Where fighting against increasing numbers is the name of the game, Sharp will always beat out Blunt for that inherent ability. Of course, it doesn't make Blunt less fun. It's hilarious to knock down zombies, but just some food for thought. This might be one of those rare instances where making the weapon animations the same would make them all more balanced with each other, but there it is. I'm done. No More Room in Hell 2 is a pretty damn good game. I like it. I was even addicted for a week or two, but there aren't many reasons to play beyond the love of the game itself. I'm a goal-oriented player. I like progressing. The game does not give you a good sense of progression, and characters straight up stop progressing even though I know the game wants you to care about them. Now hopefully this video hits the algorithm before Broadway releases, but I would like to just add an addendum showing off their newly released roadmap. I spy, with my little eye, something to do with rerolls and upgrades. Hopefully what they're cooking up is good and my issues with that part of the game vanishes into the aether. But at the end of the day, what's there is exceptional, either in execution or in potential. As long as development is steady and full of heart and passion, I can see it being one of the greats. I'm excited, I'll say. Excited for a future where this game is amazing, because I can see it in the distance. All the pieces of the puzzle are there. All that's there to do is put it together. I've been Acrylicat. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and all those other things you're supposed to say here. I'll see you next time. So yeah, video's not over. Sorry for surprising you. If you're listening on your other monitor, you can click off now. This is all like personal and channel stuff. I basically haven't made a video for like a year. Let's be real here. Let's be real. It's bad. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was working on a video about a game called Lorne's Lure. I was about 60% done with the whole thing, editing and stuff, when I had a mental breakdown and ripped the whole thing to shreds. This is not to say I thought it would have been bad. I thought it would have been a good video, but dude, this game came out in August of last year. I deleted it in like March. For some reason, this shit took me way too long. Part of that is because I've been doing a lot of stuff, and at the same time, I've been doing not a lot at all. I finished writing a book, like a whole-ass book, and I guess that accomplishment, I thought it would be an accomplishment, and it is, but it didn't feel like it. Nothing really changed, and it's still just sitting in a Google Doc. That probably hit me really hard. It made me pretty depressed that this thing that I worked on, this culmination of all of my work and passion and thoughts and emotions, amounted to very little. But that's my excuse for not making videos. It's not like I made much in the first place, but I still feel sort of bad, mostly about myself for not being able to deliver anything for like a whole year. There's no happy ending to this. I'm still not doing that great, but I'll be trying to actually get on the video horse with slightly shorter videos to see if that helps my workflow. We'll see how poorly that statement ages, but yeah. Thank you for listening to me ramble about how my life sucks a lot. Genuinely. Genuinely, thank you.